Yo, what's going on out there? It's your boy, it's your man, Jermaine Wright, LPC, back at it with another J Talk. And today I'm gonna break down a concept that I believe is crucial to our growth as people, both personally and professionally. And it's something that I've seen change lives, and I want to share it with you. So here it is. You have got to change your environment to change your experience. If you want to thrive, if you want to grow, if you want to level up, you cannot keep putting yourself in the same environment that's been holding you back. The environment that you're in shapes the experiences that you have. So if you want new experiences, positive, growth-centered, life-changing experiences, you've got to be willing, you've got to be open to change your environment. It's that simple. So let me drop a little info on you real quick with how deep and how impactful the power of our environment is. So think about yourself like this. A plant can't grow in bad soil. If you take a beautiful flower and plant it in soil that's full of rocks, dry and unhealthy, that flower isn't going to bloom. I mean, it might survive for a little bit, but eventually it'll just wither away. It's the same way for us as humans. We're like those plants. So we thrive when we're in the right environment. And our environment shapes everything. Our thoughts, our habits, our beliefs, and ultimately our experiences of life. So if you're not thriving right now, I mean, it's time to audit your environment. It's time to check your environment, because your environment is really conducive to growth. You can't expect to rise above any environment that's holding you down. So let's break this down a little bit with what I'm talking about when I'm talking about your environment. I'm talking about your physical environment. I'm talking about where you live, where you work, where you spend your time. Your physical space is the foundation for everything. If your environment is cluttered, disorganized, or negative, your mind is going to probably follow that energy. If you're living in a cramped, messy space, your mind might just feel just as chaotic. On the flip side, if you invest your time in making your space more peaceful, productive, cleaning up, organizing, creating a space that inspires you, and then your mind might start to match that energy. Your social environment, who you surround yourself with, matters. If you look around, the people that you surround yourself, and you don't feel motivated, you don't feel hopeful, you don't feel inspired, Houston, we got a problem. If you're hanging around people who are constantly negative, limiting your dreams or draining your energy, that's the environment that you're working with. If your circle doesn't believe in your vision or goals, it's going to be harder for you to believe in them too. But when you surround yourself with people who are supportive, encouraging, and pushing themselves to grow, you'll start to feel that same energy. Mental and emotional environment, this is all about that internal dialogue, y'all. This is all about that inner peace. Your thoughts, your emotional state, the way you see the world. If your mental and emotional environment is negative, toxic, or filled with self-doubt, your experience of life is going to reflect that. If you're constantly telling yourself, I can't, guess what? You won't. I'm not good enough, I'll never make it. Your internal environment is in survival mode, not thriving. But if you fill your mind with positive affirmations, if you challenge those negative thoughts and surround yourself with affirming, empowering messages, your internal experience will shift. So here's why change matters. Because why it's important to change your environment, because when you change your environment, you can thrive in an environment, a new environment that's actually going to be habitable for growth. So think about a seed. No matter how great the seed is, it won't grow without the right conditions. The seed can be full of potential, but without the right environment, that potential won't flourish. And the same goes for you. You might be sitting on a ton of potential, but if your environment isn't conducive for growth, that potential won't get the chance to show itself. So here's the thing. You're the one who controls your environment. If your current environment isn't working for you, you can change it. And sometimes it takes courage and willingness and openness to start small by changing how you think, who you spend time with, or where you spend your time. You have the power to decide what serves your growth and what doesn't. So, if you're feeling a little bit stuck or a little bit, just overwhelmed by listening to this, I am going to provide you with some actionable steps that you can take to help you move forward and work on changing your environment so that you can change your experience. So one of the things that we want to probably do is we want to audit our current environment. Let's take a look at your physical, social, and mental environment, and we want to assess what's holding you back, what's draining you, where do you feel stuck. I want you to write it down, and I want you to be honest with yourself. And after you've written down this information and you've taken some time to reflect upon it, I want you to take an action step. And I want you to look at your social circle. And I want you to examine, ask yourself, are they helping you grow or keeping you stuck? I want you to look at your workspace. And I want you to ask yourself, is it helping you to be more productive or is it making you feel unorganized? Then I want you to take a look at your dialogue. I want you to pay closer attention of how you speak to yourself. And I want you to ask yourself, are you speaking life into yourself or are you constantly doubting? The next thing we want to do is, listen, we want to get to a place of clarity because you don't know where to go and you don't know what to do without a vision for your life. So I want you to create a vision for your ideal environment. Now that you've identified the areas that need some work, think about the kind of environment that would make you feel supported, empowered, and ready to grow. I want you to visualize what success looks like. Who are you surrounded by? Where are you spending your time? How do you feel when you wake up? When you start getting clear about the ideal environment you want, you can take actionable steps towards creating it. The next thing we want to do is, listen, changing your environment to change your experience requires setting boundaries because you have to lock in. So changing your environment means creating boundaries. It means protecting your space, your time, and your energy. If there are people, situation, or habits that are keeping you stuck, listen, it's time to put up some boundaries. So don't be afraid to say no to things that drain your energy. Protect your peace, whether that's saying no to negative people or toxic situations. And because setting boundaries is essential to creating a supportive environment for growth. The next thing we want to do is, we want to surround ourselves with positive energy. Like what fills you up? Kind of like, I forget who sang that song, You Make My Love, well, whatever, I'm getting a little bit off track. But you want to surround yourself with positive people. You want to surround yourself with people who motivate you and inspire you to want to challenge yourself. You got to fill your space with people and things that inspire you. So whether it's reading books, whether it's listening to podcasts, whether it's attending events or connecting with people who are on the same path as you, surround yourself with people, that lift you up. Find communities, both online and offline that align with your goals. You need to be around people who push you to be your best and not people who keep you stuck in a state of complacency. Let's consider, making space for new habits. So changing your environment also means making space for new habits. This could mean setting up a dedicated workspace. This could mean learning or self-care. But most importantly, we want to get rid of distractions and make room for what truly matters. So if you want to grow in your career, set up a space that helps you focus and be productive. If you want to get fit, make sure your environment supports that with the tools, the foods, the videos, right? The routine that you're going to need to help you reach that goal of getting fit. When you change your environment, you change your experience. And I'm not talking about small temporary changes. I'm talking about creating sustainable growth. So when your environment is in line with your goals and your growth, it will feel like everything in your life is just clicking. You'll feel more confident, more focused, and most importantly, more capable of achieving the things that you set out to do. So look, it's all about changing, and it's all about creating an environment where you can thrive, not just survive. And don't you deserve to be in an environment that supports your dreams, your goals, and your well-being? So don't let anyone or anything keep you in an environment that doesn't serve your growth. And today, I'm talking to you today. I want to challenge you to audit your environment. And I want you to reflect upon some of the things that I went over with you today. I want you to ask yourself, is it helping you grow? And if not, what are you going to do about it? You can't thrive in an environment that's not habitable for growth. So go ahead, change your environment and change your experience. And that's it for the day. That's my J Talks for the day. Let's keep pushing. Let's keep growing as I empower you to build in and to becoming the best versions of